Let's go back to 2018. The Dow had its worst December since the Great Depression. What did Trump do? He was president back then. Forced Powell to lower interest rates. Powell lowered them in January. The lower interest rates go, the deeper the dollar falls. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices and silver prices go. Simple as that.
You're watching CapitalCosm. My name is Danny. It is August 28th, 2025, and my guest today is none other than trends forecaster and publisher of the Trends Journal himself, Gerald Celente. Gerald, thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Danny.
It's always a pleasure having you on, Gerald. I want to do a quick shout out to your newsletter, who I'm a big fan of, and I just want to remind my audience that we do have a special 10% discount code in the description and pinned comment down below. So check out the special link down below. You're not going to regret it. Gerald, let's go ahead and dive in, and let's get your take on what is most occupying your radar screen right now. What do you think should be on the radar screen of other investors and just average everyday individuals as well?
Before I go into that about the Trends Journal, with that code, it's a grand total of $2.50 a week. Pennies a day. This is last Sunday's New York Times business section, front page. Not a word there. Once upon a time, this whole thing would be nothing but copy. No more. And this is $5 a day for the Sunday New York Times. So media's dead. Journalism is finished. It's over. And it's disgusting what's going on. I call them prostitutes, media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters. So people aren't getting the truth about anything. No facts. 6 companies, control 92% of the American media. And you could thank, this is a t-shirt I did when Bill Clinton ran for office in 1992.
Beware Slick Willie.
You got it. This is a little arrogant bastard that's now worth about $150 million. A little nobody before. Hey, yeah, but I got paid off, Celente. Shut up. You forgot the Federal Communications Act in 1996, when we deregulated the communications industry, when there were thousands of independent radio stations, TV stations, and newspapers in America? Oh, the Bill Clinton that brought China into the World Trade Organization, sucked our jobs. Oh, I forgot about NAFTA. So you ask me what's going on. You got a bunch of political pieces of crap destroying this country in front of our eyes. Here, there's a t-shirt you could get if you go to Trends Journal.
Yep.
Just to show you the way I feel.
And you're not the only one who feels. I mean, this is the zeitgeist of our time. But here's the problem, Gerald. People are still stuck into the two-party delusion. Democrat versus Republican.
No, what they're stuck into, look at here. Again, don't subscribe to the Trends Journal. Go to CNN. You can read all about Taylor Swift getting married, all right? That's the headline story. Most people don't know anything. Anyway, going back. Go back to your Trends Journal. You asked me what's to watch out for. Go back to January 28th. .com bust 2.0. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, we hear about this company, DeepSeek. Chinese company. Now, doesn't cost us all this money to make this AI chat. Now, we can do it a lot cheaper. Not $100 million, only costs us $6 million. And we don't need these big chips. We can do it with smaller chips.
Right.
Tracking trends, you make connections between different fields. I talked about slimeball Bill Clinton. A murderous little SOB. Every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad. That little clown boy. Yeah. Let's go back before he brought China into the World Trade Organization. 10% of Chinese 18-year-olds went to college. Now, nearly 70%. You got 1.4 billion people there, 347 million here. Young people are totally AI high-tech addicted. The Chinese are not stupid people. Oh, as we're on the air, Tesla sales dropped 40% in Europe. You know why? China took over. BYD.
I see.
So let's go back to AI. Chinese government's pumping tons of money into this. They're accelerating in it. They're not going to need our chips. They're not going to need anything from us. They are going to become the world leader of AI. Love it, hate it. Again, this trend forecast, it's not what you want, what you wish, what you hope for. It's what is. Back down to the dot-com bust. Trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and die. AI was only born, 3 years ago? You don't invest all your money in the infant. And that's what happened. This is, again, you go back to the Trends Journal. Here it is.
Yeah.
when it was a quarterly, dot-com we forecast the dot-com bust. This is the fall 1999 issue. We said it would bust by the second quarter of 2000. It did. We're going to have a dot-com bust. Now, here we are. You said August 28th. We are at the height of the end of summertime.
Mm-hmm.
People are in a summertime.
The summer doldrums.
They don't know what's going on. You got a lot less players in the markets right now. Think of the news. This is Thursday. For the last 3 days, what is going to be the outcome with NVIDIA stocks? One damn company, you're telling me I got to hear this every day?
Well, it's carrying the entire stock market on its shoulders. That's why.
The Magnificent Seven.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you ready for this? 3 companies, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, own 88% of the S&P 500. America. Oh, Trump bringing Intel into the thing?
I was just going to say that. Yep.
Yeah. Once upon a time, there was this Italian guy by the name of Mussolini. He called the merger of state and corporate powers fascism. The big corporations keep getting bigger, and all we are plantation workers of Slavelandia.
So what was the rationale behind buying 10% of Intel from the Trump
Again,
team?
this is fascism. It's the companies and the government are becoming one.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Let's go back to Trump in 2020, 2021. Man, that lousy Bitcoin, that dirty stuff, it's ruining the dollar. Oh, hey, wait a minute. I'm in it now. My family's in it. Lutnick, Krupnick, Krapnick, all of these people in his government are in it. I love Bitcoin. It's a great thing. He's only interested in money.
And you've also got the Genius Act as well. So Bitcoin is now tied into the treasury market through the stable coins.
Yeah, and the stable coin. What a bunch of baloney make-up crap this is. Once upon a time, currencies used to be backed by gold. You had to have a real value to something.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just up in the air. Again, going back to AI. Everything's artificial. Go back to your Trends Journal 5 years ago. We said from dirty cash to digital trash. And that's where we're at. The world's going digital. CBDCs are going to be they're it. They're going to be it. They know every penny you spent, what you spent, where you spent it, what you spent it on, so they know more and more about you. But most of all, they get your tax money.
And what's most importantly of all, Gerald, is that the AI systems are only as good as the data you feed it. It's garbage in, garbage out. But in the case of China, I mean, their data collection apparatus far outpaces what we have here in the United States. Now, what we're seeing today is that we're trying to compete with China's data collecting apparatus, their surveillance state, by creating our own vis-a-vis through Palantir. You remember Doge came in, and there hasn't really been any cuts to the federal government like they promised. But what they did do was that they installed Palantir across the federal agencies. So now you've got a streamlined data collection, a data warehouse across all the agencies to feed into AI.
Yep. And who's the guy that's the head of that?
Peter Thiel.
And who did he bring in as vice president?
Mr. J.D. Vance.
You got it. It's a crime syndicate that people call a government. And I want to make this clear. I was on the other side. I was the assistant to the secretary of the New York State Senate. Worked on major political campaigns in Westchester County, the richest county in America back in the day. Got a picture when I put on a brunch with Ronald Reagan with 16 of our board of directors. Been with presidents, prime ministers, and princes. I was on the other side. It's a crime syndicate that people call a government. We the people, F you. I'm your politician. I'll tell you what to do. Get back in your house. Stand 6 feet apart. And remember, every time you masturbate, you better sanitize your hands because that COVID will kill you. And don't forget to wear this mask. I'll tell you what to do. I'm Godson Gavin Newsom, the arrogant boy that's going to be the Democratic guy to run for president. Oh, the Gavin Newsom that shut down all of California as he's partying up at the French Laundry up in the Napa Valley with all his friends with $400 a plate at least dinner. Yeah, we got a bunch of, from your city to your state to the federal government, politicians are nothing more. As I say, that's how I feel about them. They are destroying this country, every country around the world. Everyone. Again, it's in your Trends Journal. You got that little guy now, Mertz. Oh, I mentioned BlackRock. Oh, he's from BlackRock. Now he's the Chancellor of Germany. We got to build up our military. We have to stop those Russians. Oh, yeah, the Germans that killed 25 million of them in World War II. Oh, you love World War II, didn't you? The Germans. Oh, the Germans that gave us World War I. We must borrowing $1 trillion to get more defense. Oh, we're going to build our infrastructure so we can hold the tanks up. I'm not making this up. It's one country after another. It's gone. And where are the people fighting back? Calm down, Celente. We don't like when you raise your voice. You get so angry. You're right, I get angry. Those who are not angry when it's morally justifiable to be angry are immoral. That's according to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's interesting you mentioned Europe, Gerald. You look at the government, you look at the debt market in Europe.
Yep.
The German 30-year bond yield is skyrocketing up. The British bond yield is skyrocketing up. All across Europe, you're seeing yields move to the upside, which is obviously bearish for their debt. So, what's going on in Europe right now? I think people are overlooking this.
The UK is now over. Again, look what anyone is talking about the damage that's been caused by the COVID war. Nobody. It's out of the news. Out of the news. Look at the buildings that have, again, there's going to be an office building bust. Again, we got to go back to the facts. By the way, I'm a political atheist. Both political parties to me are pieces of crap. I haven't voted for a president since Ron Paul, 2012. Trump, March 13th, 2020, calls a state of emergency in America. Locked down the place. They pumped in trillions of dollars, his administration and the Biden administration, to artificially prop up the government, the economy. Stay home. Here's money. Don't worry about it. Hey, for the big companies, here's billions and billions. Trillions they dumped in. Let's go back to inflation. The little clown boy, Powell, the Fed head. Why, Celente, you're full of baloney. There's no inflation. It's only temporary. Oh, then it became transitory. Look at the inflation we got. Look at the prices of homes since the COVID war. Only gone up over 50% in America. Oh, how about want to buy a car? That only went up a little over about 30%. Now, life is totally different. The work at home trend has become a reality. You look at your office vacancy rate in America. Before COVID, it was about 11.4%. Now it's almost 20%. Vacant. Now you got to look at leases, usually about 5-year leases. That's on average. They're not renewing them. People are working from home. Mm-hmm. There's going to be an office building bust that's going to bring down the banking system. Let's go back to 2023. 3 banks failed: Signature, Silicon Valley, and First Republic. Worst banking crisis, the third worst one in America. Remember what happened to the equity markets? What happened to gold prices? Equities were slumping, gold prices are spiking. You're going to start seeing bank failures like you've never seen. Look at the data. They don't report it. Buildings that was sold for like $300 million are selling now for, $80 million.
Is there enough money in the coffers in the FDIC to bail people out, or will this be a bail-in in this case?
And that goes back to, they're going to make it up again. Look like they did. Again, I got it. Sometimes people call me a futurist. I can't predict the future. There are too many wild cards. Mm-hmm. I'll go back. In 2012, I thought the markets would crash. They didn't teach me about zero interest rate policy and a thing called quantitative easing in Economics 101 or graduate school. Let's go back to 2008. Panic of 08, which, again, we had forecast in the Trends Journal. Right there. What happened? The Federal Reserve dumped in $29 trillion to bail out the banksters. $29 trillion. Not my numbers. That's according to the Levy Institute at Bard College. They'll do anything to artificially prop it up. And now you know what it's going to be? We're getting rid of that dirty dollar. We got a new coin. The dollar coin. The king coin. Oh, and the value is much more than the dollar. We just did away with our debt level. They're going to make up something.
Yeah, and now you have this supposed feud between President Trump and Chairman Powell that now extended over to the Fed board. Fed Governor Lisa Cook has been fired by the Trump administration, by President Trump, and now she's suing Trump to block her firing. What's going on here, do you think? Yes, Trump wants lower interest rates, but it seems like he got it with the recent capitulation from Powell. So what's the point in going after these Fed board governors?
Well, she was pro-interest rate hikes. So he's getting rid of anybody. He's doing it throughout the whole government. You don't do what I tell you, get out of here. I'm the king. Again, we the people does not exist. And it's not only under Trump, it's one after another. Genocide Joe Biden, you forgot about him? Well, how about all the dough we sent to Ukraine to keep the war going? Oh, by the way, I launched a movement over a decade ago called Occupy Peace. I had major peace rallies up here in Kingston, New York, on the most historic four corners in America, the only place with 3 pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings. And I have 3 of them. And that's where we have the rallies, on the 4 corners of freedom. And we're having one on September 27th. You go to Occupy Peace, you can see more about it. So far, Joe Laurie with Consortium News, Judge Napolitano, and Scott Ritter will be speakers, and others are coming. So going back to this and sending our money to Ukraine, I read George Washington's farewell address. Now, this is a guy, Washington crossed the Delaware, a real cat that fought, right? Not like Trump only got 5 draft deferments, so too did Biden. Bill Clinton got his, he beat the draft. But they love war. Obama couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag. Little clown boys with big mouths that don't fight. I read the guys that fought. He says, don't become involved in these foreign entanglements. This has been going on for centuries in these countries, and we're not going to fix it. Our motive is to defend America, protect the country. Do not get involved in foreign entanglements. You go back to Ukraine. Here, this is a Trends Journal going back to 2014. See how happy that guy is? It's the United States overthrow, the democratically elected government that nobody reports about. And it's an article, Washington is driving the world to the final war, by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. Have no idea about it, but yet going back to the country going down, depending on whose numbers you look at, between $250 billion to $350 billion of our money to keep that war going. So going back to what will they do to prop up the economy? Anything they can. They'll make up anything they can. Look, and again, look at the defense budget. It's over $1 trillion now.
Yeah, and they also talked about doing another buy-in to various defense contractors, like they did with Intel.
Yep. Fascism, not my definition. Mussolini's.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the precious metals markets right now. The futures, the gold futures are at 34.68. Silver is getting close to that $40 mark, $39.11. You had this recent news item from Saudi Arabia saying that they bought about $20 million worth of SLV shares. Of course, we've been seeing the central banks buy up gold over the course of the last decade or so, but it's intensified over recent years. But now it appears that silver is getting attention. The Department of the Interior published an updated list of its critical minerals, and guess what they just added to that list? Silver and platinum. So, what's going on here, Gerald? Are we about to see a precious metals rally?
Absolutely. Well, it's rallying already. It is a rally. Again, we've been bullish on it. You go back to 2024. One of our top trends for 2024 was a golden year for gold. When gold went up, 27% last year. Mm-hmm. Same thing this year. Let's go back, making connections. We were talking about Powell before. Let's go back to 2018. The Dow had its worst December since the Great Depression. What did Trump do? He was president back then. Forced Powell to lower interest rates. Powell lowered them in January. The lower interest rates go, the deeper the dollar falls. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices and silver prices go. Simple as that. Because other currencies go up, it's cheaper to buy it because they're dollar-based. Now let's go back to silver. Silver is used in, the high-tech world is silver. Phones, everything, computers. But unlike gold, once the thing breaks, you throw it away. It goes in. So there's no stockpiles like they got in gold. It's a different trip. So I think silver, by the way, I bought silver back in 2011 for $40 an ounce. That's what it was back then.
You're about to break even.
Yeah. And but I've been buying, my first buy of gold was $163 an ounce. One of my books, Trend Tracking, far better than Megatrends, Time Magazine. I write about what happened. The Iranian crisis started, and they taught us to hate Iran like they taught us to hate Russia. When I was a kid, they had us hiding under a desk in case an atom bomb went off. Like that was going to help save your life, by the way. They taught us to hate Iran, but 99.9% of the people had no idea the United States, the CIA and the MI6, the English, overthrow the democratically elected government of Mossadegh in 1953, Mohammad Mossadegh, who became the president of Iran. And the nerve that he had was to say that oil in Iran does not belong to Anglo-Iranian oil, better known today as BP, or Standard Oil, better known today as ExxonMobil. That's the Iranian people's oil. No, it's not. No, it's not. Kermit Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt's grandson, and Churchill. It's all there. The facts are there. Anybody can read them. They overthrew the government, put in the Savak, the secret police that made the SS look good, and brought in the Shah from southern France, the dictator. When it happened, everybody just hating the Iranians, I said to myself, I bet gold and oil prices will go up. And I started playing both the gold and oil futures market, and I put a $10,000 bet. I brought it almost up to $750,000. And I started buying gold, buying bars of gold back then. Again, I lost a lot of the dough, the futures markets, young guy, he's like 30 years old, but 32. That's when I began buying gold. So I've been following gold since then. And we call it when it goes up. We say when it's going to go down. And the facts are there. We don't call it like we like it. We call it like it is. And gold's going to just keep going up as we see it, along with precious metals. Very interesting, too. You see copper prices going down. And copper, Dr. Copper, they call it, because copper is used from heavy industry to high tech. So that's showing you the global slowdown of demand, which is very important to look at.
And here's the thing, Gerald. You look at what Trump is wanting to do by lowering interest rates, but to bring down mortgage rates and all that other stuff. But this was already tried about a year ago. They lowered interest rates about 100 basis points around this time. And what did the long end of the yield curve do? It didn't budge.
Yeah, they didn't go down enough. They got to go down a lot more to make it happen.
Really?
They bring them down another percent. Not going to make any difference.
So they've got to do something radical. Like, do you anticipate them bringing it all the way down to 1%, like Trump alluded to?
I think it depends on where the economy goes. Where it goes, excuse me, he'll do everything he can to keep propping up the economy. But here's the other important thing to look at. Trump's not even what is that? 8 months, 7 months? He's only in office.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing. He got another over 3 years left. So, I've been at this again 45 years. We do top trends every year. Never did we do a top trend called a wild card, because one of our other Trump cards was a Trump card. And anything goes, man. This is a wild time. And that's why, again, we don't have any advertisers in the Trends Journal. Nobody tells us what to do. And that's why we're very bullish on precious metals, because this thing, and then again, you have to look at the wars going on. Here, go back to your Trends Journal. For 2 years, we said that the worse Ukraine does in the war, the more they're going to ramp it up by bombing nuclear power plants, oil pipelines, depots, oil facilities in Russia. And that's exactly what they're doing now. And then we're very concerned about Israel ramping up the war in the United States against Iran. If that happens, you're going to see Brent crude probably nearly double in price, about $120, not quite double, but $120 a barrel. And that'll crash the global economy. By the way, when the dot-com bust comes, all the equity markets around the world are going to go down.
But if you recall back to 08, like you just mentioned, precious metals did not go down with the rest of the markets now, did they?
They went way up. They go the opposite way. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're very bullish on precious metals. Again, I've never seen a situation like this. War after war after war after war. We bombed Somalia more than 57 times already. Nobody even knows about that one.
Yeah. And then it looks like they're also planning to do something with Venezuela. They've always wanted to take out Maduro. You think back to Trump won with Guaido, but it looks like they're reopening something with Venezuela as well.
They are. Again, we're writing about it in the magazine. They're sending the ships down there. Now Venezuela is confronting them with there as well. What right do we have to say, they're dealing drugs? Come on, what am I, 6 years old? Like you said, they tried to overthrow the government with that Guaido jerk back when Trump was president back in 2019. and then you talk about drugs. It's about oil. They're oil rich. You think we would have invaded Iraq if their major export was broccoli?
Yeah. And could it also be because they could effectively be used as an outpost for China and Russia and Iran as well? Like, do they want to ensure that those three countries don't have any presence whatsoever in the Western Hemisphere?
I don't know. I don't think that's it. I don't think Russia doesn't give a damn about China beginning have a. They're not. They don't care about that. I don't think. Again, we only write the facts in the magazine. Go back to the deal that was made when Gorbachev was the president of the Soviet Union, and he ended it. And the deal he made with George Bush Sr. NATO would not move 1 inch further. There were 12 NATO countries. Clinton gets in, and it just keeps escalating. Now there are 32 NATO countries. So if we had Russia up here in Canada, and Chinese down in Mexico with missiles aimed at the United States, we'd be happy, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of which, we're about a little over a week removed from the Trump-Putin summit in Alaska. So now that we've had about a week to digest this, what was the outcome of the meeting? Because there doesn't seem to be anything substantial out of it.
Go back to what we said. Nothing substantial would happen before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk. and hey, you elect me president, I'm going to end that war in 24 hours, all right? All right? Hey, all right? Hey, now that I'm president, before I get into office, I'm going to end that war, right? All right? How can you make up this crap? I had lunch with Donald Trump's brother, by the way, back in 2017, Robert. He had a restaurant over here across the river in Wasaic. Robert went on to tell me that when the father died, he left the family over $500 million worth of real estate. Trump's nothing more than a spoiled daddy's boy. I'm the same age as Trump. And they couldn't control me. I'm a Napolitano, born in the Bronx right after the war. Bronx is a whole different trip, man. I used to hear all the time, "You little SOB, we had enough of your crap, you're going to military school." I'll be good. I'm going to go to military school. My mother made, she rest in peace, a great Italian, with great food, chicks, cars. I'm going to go to military school. I'll be good. Trump was so narcissistic, they sent him to military school. It's about 30 minutes south of me over here, in a place called Cornwall on the Hudson. The middle of nowhere. Imagine being a teenager. Again, speaking for myself, what I got interested in, chicks, cars, sports, I'm going to go to military school, get dressed up in a costume every day, time to go to bed, time to get up, do this, do that, eat crap food. So narcissistic, they sent him to military school. And that's who he is today.
Yeah. Well, Gerald, thank you so much for your time here today. Again, I want to reiterate and I want to encourage my audience to consider becoming a member of the Trends Journal. And again, we do have a special 10% discount link in the description and pinned comment of this video. And that, like you said, it comes out to what? $2.50 a month. What is it? A week or a month?
A week.
A week.
Yeah, pennies.
So, I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee for $2.50 nowadays.
No.
So
pennies a day. And again, it's about 200 pages, from technocracy to high-tech science to AI, total section, geopolitics, economics. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it is jam-packed with value. I mean, close over 100 pages most of the times. And I mean, the way I look at it is that, I have my job. Many other people have their own 9-to-5 jobs, or they run their own businesses. We don't have time to just get into the nitty-gritty with this stuff and research and keep up with everything that's going on. But the way I view you guys is kind of like an outsourced research team. You guys can go and do the research, and bring back the spoils, so we don't have to.
Yeah, what we do, and again, it's a magazine. You read what you want. You don't want to read the whole thing if you don't want to. But here's what we do, for example. Like, let's talk about what's going on with the Israel war. We subscribe to Haaretz, the Israeli newspaper. We go to the Times of Israel. We go to Jerusalem Post. We go to Ynet. And we go to IRNA, ISNA, Press TV, Tehran Times. We want to hear what the Iranians have to say. We go to Arab News. We go to Al Jazeera. We go to Middle East Monitor, Middle East. We want to hear what Arabs have to say. We go to European, France 24, Euronews, on and on. And what they have to say, we go with what America has to say. And then we say, this is what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is our analysis. This is where we see it going. So we give you the whole story. And then the motto is think for yourself. We don't tell you what to believe. We give you our trend analysis and trend forecasts. And no magazine, no newspaper does that.
Yeah. That's the big value proposition with the Trends Journal that I find. I mean, there's biases everywhere, but at the very least, you guys lay out. You look at both sides.
Yep.
Whether you agree with them or not, which is a difficult thing to do, but you lay out both sides and you bring the information to the reader. So I can't encourage it enough. Check it out, guys. Special discount link in the description. So again, Trends Journal, 10% off, $2.50 a week. Take advantage of it. All right, Gerald, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up here?
Yeah, very important. September and October are very, very vital months for the equity markets. Again, summertime's over. People, they're in a summer state of mind right now, don't know a lot what's going on. But stay tuned very tightly and watch. Again, opportunity misses those who view the world through the eyes of their profession. That's one of our trend analysis. You got to get out of your world and look at the whole world. And so stay tuned and really, really, this is a very critical time right now for the next 2 months, particularly with the equity markets. So that's my suggestion.
Interesting. And historically, September, like around this time, has typically been a very tumultuous period of the season. You look at the big crashes. We had one last year around this time. We had a brief sell-off around this time last year. And then before that, you had the 2008 crash that occurred around this time of the year as well.
That's right. Oh, and the crash of 87.
Mm-hmm.
The crash of 87, October. By the way, that's how I first started getting in the media. I call that one. Wall Street Journal picked it up. I call the .com bust. Took out the domain name, the Panic of 08 in 2007. And this is one's coming now. We're calling it .com bust 2.0. It's going to happen.
Wow. Well, we'll be on the lookout for it. We'll definitely looking forward to our next session, you and I. Gerald, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. Do you have like a Twitter handle? Anything else you wanna put out there? A YouTube channel? I believe you have. We'll put your channel down in the description box down below. But if people want to get in touch with you from your social media, where are you at?
Twitter. And and of course you could just go to our site and contact us. They could
Okay.
If you have any questions?
Sounds good. We'll have the links to all your socials as well as the special link to the Trends Journal down below. Guys, if you got value out of this content, drop us a like and comment. Go, Gerald, go in the comment section. If you agreed or disagreed, do let me know. I do, in fact, read the comments, but let me know what and why you agreed or disagreed. I'm really interested in getting your perspective as well as your rationale too. So drop me your thoughts down below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode. And liking, subscribing, commenting, doing all the YouTube stuff really does go a long way in helping push this video, this channel, and this message in the algorithm. So a little bit does go a long way. And then finally, check us out on Substack at capitalcosm.substack.com to get early access, ad-free versions, and uncensored versions of all of my content, as well as a chance to ask me questions and ask my future guests questions if you have any that you want read on air. So with all that said, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you later.